morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Tuesday the 15th of December. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, looking at the hourly candlesticks, bullish start to the morning. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 19,213. Take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 19,419. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from this early morning high in 19,388. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Bitcoin break through the second major resistance level at 19,555 to bring resistance at 19,700 into play. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 19,077 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of the second major support level sitting at 18,872. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight widening of the bullish histogram after yesterday's late bullish cross, supporting this early upside. We're also seeing the 50 EMA pull away marginally from the 100 and the 200, also supporting this early morning gain. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot, break back through to 19,400 levels to then bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, also positive start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid a fall through the pivot at 584.56 to take around the first major resistance level, saying at 593.54. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's high. It was at 591.71. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, we've got the second major resistance level at 600.69 to pin Ethereum back. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 577.41 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 570 levels. Second major support level sits at 568.43. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram this morning, supporting this early upside. We're also seeing the 50 EMA pull away marginally from the 100 and the 200, also supporting a bullish morning ahead. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot, break back through to 590s to then bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also bullish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid a pullback and through the pivot at 81.5 to take another run at the first major resistance level, saying at 83.85. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from this morning's high at 83.5. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level at 83.85 and resistance at 84 to pin Litecoin back. In the event of a breakout, we've got the second major resistance level sitting at 85.34 that would likely come into play. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 80.01 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay well clear of sub 75. Second major support level at 77.66 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram this morning, supporting this early morning upside. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 pull away from the 100 and the 200, and the 100 break through the 200 with a bullish cross, supporting further upside through the morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot at 81.5, break out from the morning high at 83.5 to then bring resistance levels into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also on the move this morning after some woeful days in the red. Going to need to Ripple's XRP avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.5021 to take a run at its first major resistance level sitting at 0.5146. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.51 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and the 38.2% fib at 0.5285 to pin Ripple's XRP back. In the event of a breakout, we've got the second major resistance level at 0.5314 and resistance at 0.55 to limit any upside on the day. A fallback through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 0.4853 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the second major support level at 0.4728. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram this morning after yesterday's late bullish cross, supporting this early upside. On the EMA, we're seeing the 50 begin to flatten on the 100 and the 200, suggestive of a possible shift You need to keep an eye on that through the morning. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fall back through the pivot, break back through to 51s to then bring resistance levels in play.